you guys, welcome back to English with Allie. Today we are going to do Chapter 1, Review. Are you guys ready? Let's do it! The first thing we're going to do is our tongue twister. So today's tongue twister is long, but you only have to say it once. So let's look at it together. A big black bug bit a big black bear and made the big black bear bleed blood. Very long. And if you say it quickly, it becomes difficult. So remember, 빨리. So very quickly. So a big black bug bit a big black bear and made the big black bear bleed blood. A big black bug bit a big black bug bit a big black bear and made the big black bear bleed blood. So practice that. It's difficult, right? It's difficult not saying a big black blah blah blah. Yeah, even I have trouble. So let's try it again slowly. A big black bug bit a big black bear and made the big black bear bleed blood. So practice going faster with it. Big black bug bit a big black bear and made a big black bear bleed blood. Okay, I want you to practice it, and please send me a voice note or a video of you doing it. Let's go into our review. So, the first thing to review is I'll never forget 동사 dun dun dun. So, I'll never forget spending time with who? With my mom. With you. I'll never forget spending time with my teacher. With David. With Annie. Then we have I'll never forget hanging out with. So these are similar. Spending time, hanging out with. They're very similar. I'll never forget spending time with Spencer. I'll never forget spending time with Leanne. So very, very similar. Then I'll never forget seeing. So seeing the BTS concert. Seeing the, what did you see? Seeing the movie. Seeing a movie. Seeing the Taj Mahal. Seeing, you can also say just Busan. Not a Busan, the Busan, just Busan. So, I'll never forget seeing 어디, where? Or seeing what, saying what. I'll never forget going to. So here you can also say, so you can do it with the and a. I'll never forget going to the beach. I'll never forget going to the mountain. But if you are specific, you have one place in mind. So let's say not just the mountain, but Mount Munsu, right? I'll never forget going to Mount Munsu. So we would not use the or a because it's specific. There's one. But if there's many, so the beach, lots and lots and lots of beaches. Let's say Hyundai Beach. I'll never forget going to Hyundai Beach. Not the, not a. There's just one. Our last one, volunteering. Do you remember what volunteering means? It means helping. It means helping. I'll never forget volunteering at my school or in the community. So you say where you volunteered. Where you volunteered. I'll never forget this day. Or I'll never forget that day. This is like right now. That is in the past. This will be important. You'll never forget this trip. So if I'm saying I will, not me, you'll never forget learning online with Allie. You'll never forget this trip. This will be very important later. So write it down. Okay, let's look at our next key expression. Why don't you? Why don't you? And then 동사. Why don't you help your mom? Why don't you go to the beach? So there's a lot of different ways to ask, why don't you? Why don't you? Da, da, da. Why don't you buy this souvenir? Why don't you come to this hostel? You can, we said 동사, so you can impress, and then who? Your boss, that way. You can, 동사, so get, what? What can you get? Money, that way. You can travel, so 동사, where? Where can you travel? The world, that way. You can see, so see is our 동사. You can see where or what? You can see Korea that way. You can remember, 동사. Remember what? You can remember your trip that way. Your trip, your vacation. You can remember your vacation that way. Sound good? Let's play a game. Okay, you guys, let's play Super Mario Telepathy. You need a notebook and a pen. It's a very, very simple game. All you need to do is write down one of the sentences. You can earn 2 points, you can earn 1 point, or you could lose a point. Pretty simple, right? Let's do it. The first one, I'll never forget visiting Vietnam. I'll never forget traveling to Thailand. I'll never forget going to Cambodia. So write down 1. Are you guys ready? Let's look at it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, I'll never forget visiting Vietnam. 2 points. I'll never forget traveling to Thailand. 1 point. I'll never forget going to Cambodia. Minus a point. Okay. Let's do another one. You'll never forget this vacation. You'll never forget this trip to Korea. You'll never forget this holiday. Write down 1. Ready? I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll never forget this vacation. Minus a point. You'll never forget this trip to Korea. Ooh, 2 points. You'll never forget this holiday. Minus a point. So that means I have 1 point. Let's do the next one. Can you suggest a hostel to stay at? Can you suggest a place to sightsee? Can you suggest a souvenir to purchase? So write down 1. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's look at the answers, or let's look at the points. Can you suggest a hostel to stay at? 1 point, very nice. Can you suggest a place to sightsee? Minus a point. Can you suggest a souvenir to purchase? Nice, I got 2 points. Very good. How are you doing? Let's do another. You can remember this trip that way. You can remember this trip that way. You can see the major landmarks that way. You can make lifelong memories that way. So you can remember this trip that way. You can see the major landmarks that way. You can make lifelong memories that way. So write down 1. Countdown begins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can remember this trip that way? Ooh, 2 points. You can see major landmarks that way? Crap. You can make lifelong memories that way. Sad. Okay, let's do another. Why don't you stay at an affordable hostel? Why don't you study overseas? Why don't you glance through the guidebook? And your countdown begins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's start at this side. Why don't you glance through the guidebook? Haha, 2 points. Why don't you study overseas? 1 point. Why don't you stay at an affordable hostel? 1 point. Very nice. Okay. I'll never forget this enriching trip. I'll never forget this precious memory. I'll never forget that trip. Write down 1. Are you almost ready? Let's do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll never forget this enriching trip. Sorry. I'll never forget this precious memory. Yes. I'll never forget that trip. Nice. So let's see right now. I have 4, 6, 8. I have 6 points. How are you doing? Let's do a couple more, 1 more. We'll see. Why don't you buy a charm bracelet? Why don't you buy a fridge magnet? Why don't you buy a postcard? So write down 1. Are you ready? Let's look at it in 3, 2, 1. Why don't you buy a postcard? Minus. Why don't you buy a fridge magnet? Why don't you buy a charm bracelet? No, I knew that was coming. I don't like losing points. Okay, another one. I suggest you keep in touch. I suggest you bring back something special. I suggest you take a spontaneous trip. Write down 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I suggest you keep in touch. I suggest you bring back something special. I suggest you take a spontaneous trip. Yes. Okay. Are you guys ready to look at the homework? Let's do it. Our homework today is pretty simple. So first, you need to send your tongue twister. Second, you need to take a picture of your notebook from the game. finally, you need to make a poster on half of an A4. So you can do two. You can pick one. One of them is sell a Korean souvenir to a tourist. So what kind of souvenir? Maybe a fridge magnet, maybe chopsticks, hanbok, doll. So tell us why we should buy your souvenir. You need to speak 4 sentences with our key expressions. You'll never forget, I'll never forget. Why don't you? You can. I suggest. Use your key expressions. Or you can convince someone to visit your hostel. So where's your hostel? Is it in Ulsan, Busan, Jeju? Is it in Vietnam, USA? Anywhere. But tell us why we should visit your hostel. So you can walk to the beach. There's a sentence right there. You also need 4 sentences with our key expressions. You'll never, I'll never forget. You can. Why don't you? I suggest. Sound easy? Sound good? So I want you to take a picture of your poster. I want you to draw. Oh, teacher, I have no marker, no name pen. That's okay. Pencil, pen. That'll be good. So I want you to hold it up. This is your half with your drawing. Speak your sentences. Why don't you visit my hostel? Why don't you buy a souvenir? And tell me why. Why? So I need tongue twister. Picture of your sentences. And I want a video of you speaking your poster sentences. Sound good? Okay. I hope that I get to see you guys soon. Bye.